everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so grateful that you've decided to join me today. So as you have already read by the title of this video, today I am going to be reading some very interesting real life paranormal or ghost stories. Now seriously, मेरे को बहुत ज़्यादा डर लगता है ghost stories, ghost movies and everything, ghost and paranormal and everything. बचपन में मैं देख लेती थी, but एक बार मैंने किसी मूवी का कोई सीन देख लिया. If I find that scene, I'll insert it right here. और जहाँ पे मेरा बेड था ना, आई यूज टू स्लीप अलोन, और मेरे बेड के ऊपर देयर वाज दिस कबर्ड, बिल्कुल ऐसा, मतलब जो ऊपर नहीं होता दीवार में, वहाँ पे एक कबर्ड था. और ये सीन देखने के बाद मेरे को पूरा टाइम उस कबर्ड को देख के वही चीज़ याद आती थी. और लाइक आई कुड नॉट स्लीप अलोन फॉर सो मेनी डेज. और उसके बाद मेरे को ऐसा फोबिया हो गया ना, लाइक आई कुड नॉट वॉच घोस्ट मूवीज. मैं अपने साथ एक तकिया लेके बैठती हूँ, अगर मुझे कोई भी ज़बरदस्ती भी बुलाता है, मैं एक तकिया लेके बैठती हूँ. मैं पूरा टाइम तकिए के अंदर ऐसे मुंह गाड़ के बैठी रहती हूँ. लाइक आई एम very scared, like I am a scared person. बहुत ज़्यादा डरपोक हूँ मैं, to put it out there. But today I thought of doing something different. पता नहीं मैंने अपने आप को ये क्यों करने का चैलेंज दिया है, but I wanted to read some real life paranormal stories. Now all these stories have been taken from the Instagram page called The Indian Idiot. None of these stories are mine. And वहाँ पे बहुत सारे लोगों ने अपनी real life story submit करी है, मतलब उन्होंने कहा है कि ये उनकी real life stories हैं. So let's read them and find out कि कितनी डरावनी है और क्या क्या होता है इस दुनिया में. And like also let me know, do you believe in the afterlife or do you believe in ghosts and everything? Just comment down below and let me know if you believe in ghosts or if you do not. Alright, so I am here with all the stories on my phone, so I'm gonna start reading the first one. So it goes like this. In 2017, my cousin brother, who was 17 at that time, met with an accident. He was injured seriously and battled for his life. When he was at the hospital, I had a dream. I remember clearly that my last chat with him on WhatsApp was replying to his status where he posted a video of birds flying. In my dream, I saw our last conversation and I received a message from him saying, Chechi, I'm going, which means we call elder sisters Chechi in Malayalam. ऐसा bracket में लिखा हुआ है. So I texted him back saying, what do you mean? Where are you going? In my dream, frustrated. He simply said, I just have to go, and I begged him not to leave and pleaded him to stay. I remember being totally shaken by this dream and was waking up in the middle of the night crying. I was scared to tell this to anyone as I didn't want anybody to be upset. 3 or 4 days later, my little brother surrendered to death after battling for his life for 15 days. I get chills just by remembering this dream because it felt so real, like he was actually texting me. I hope my brother is at peace where he is. That is kind of chilly, and I also hope that his brother is at peace wherever he is. Like, do you really believe that such things happen? I did not used to believe ऐसा कुछ भी होता है, but I think it's been like a lot of years since my grandfather passed away. He passed away in 2008. I was a little kid back then, and I don't remember much, but when he passed away, we kept like this a little a plate with, I think, rice or atta in it. I don't really remember, but it had like flour or rice in it. And I asked my mother as to why we were keeping this at night. So she told me that the footprints of the form that the soul would take in its next life would be imprinted on this. Like if the person, like if the soul becomes a person, तो इंसान के पैरों के निशान होंगे. If it becomes an animal or an insect, तो उनके पैरों के निशान होंगे. And I did not really believe it, but next morning when I woke up, there were footprints of a human being on that. I don't really know how that came there. Maybe someone put it there, but like I don't know, why would someone put it there? So this is one experience that I have had in my life that I think is something out of the ordinary. But like if you have had any such experiences, you should definitely let me know down in the comments. I would love to read your experiences as well, because I am really sure there is something beyond this world as well. I mean, we are not living alone on this planet, I am pretty sure. So if you have any of your stories to share, do let me know in the comments. So moving on to the next story, it starts like this. So my dad used to work a job that required him to travel often, so we used to move a lot. When I was 5, my dad got transferred to Mumbai from Chennai. The establishment my dad worked at provided us with accommodation, etc. So we got this 3 BHK flat. kind of spacious, and there were only 2 flats on every floor. As soon as we shifted, our neighbor told my mom to tie the bag thingy near the main entrance because the place was apparently haunted by a woman who hung herself a few years before. Like shifting into a house where someone has taken their own lives. Very creepy. My mom didn't believe her, I guess. Big mistake because many strange and terrifying things happened to us in that house. Here are a few. A few? I mean, there are many. Once, my mom and I were out of station and my dad was staying alone. In the middle of the night, he heard a loud thud from the kitchen and went to check it out. A full 20-liter drinking water can and a knife fell from the kitchen top onto the floor. My dad was shook, but he didn't give it much thought. I have no idea why. Later that night after the incident, he wasn't spooked, but he was definitely a little uncomfortable. He couldn't sleep and decided to watch TV. After some time, he suddenly felt a very heavy weight on him, almost like something was sitting on him and wasn't letting him move. After struggling for almost half an hour, he stood up forcefully and left the house. He slept at a hotel that night. Second incident is, we also had a lot of guests who stayed with us complaining about hearing birds chirping in the middle of the night and sounds of someone wailing all night long. Like, if I hear a person wailing in my house, I'm gonna leave this house, run away, and never come back. I swear. Third incident, there was this one time I was playing alone in the playground, and all of a sudden, I could feel someone breathing on the back of my neck. I thought it was the breeze, but I was still a little scared and continued playing. Then I heard someone whisper my name into my ear. Like it was calling me or something. It was so faint that if someone else was also whispering, you wouldn't be able to hear it. I got scared and wanted to go back home, but I couldn't move. It felt like something was holding me back. So I ran and hid behind some bushes. I don't know what compelled me to do that, but I hid there for almost an hour until my mom came to find me. Okay. Next incident. The next one, it was a Sunday and I had taken a long nap in the afternoon. Obviously, I couldn't sleep at night. I used to sleep with my parents. I opened my eyes for a second only to find someone standing at the foot of the bed. It was a woman. She had long hair and was wearing a nightgown, a white nightgown. A very typical Indian ghost. ऐसा ही bracket में लिखा हुआ है. Her features were hazy. I immediately shut my eyes and then whispers and calling my name out loud started. I was terrified. I closed my eyes tight and hoped that it would go away, but the voice just got louder and angrier. So I held my mom tight and fell asleep real fast because of the fear. एक डर की वजह से नींद कैसे आ जाती यार. अगर मेरे साथ ऐसा होता, मुझे पता होता कि मैं जिस घर में शिफ्ट हुई हूँ उसमें किसी ने सुसाइड किया है, किसी की डेथ हुई है, और मेरे साथ ऐसे इंसिडेंट्स होते ना, मैं तो भाग जाती भाड़ में. या तुम्हारा कंपनी प्रोवाइडेड जो भी तुमने मेरे को अकोमोडेशन दिया है, मुझे नहीं चाहिए भाई, मैं अपने पैसे खर्च करके खुद रह लूंगी. बट आई एम नॉट गोना लिव विद समवेयर वेयर आई एम एक्सपीरियंसिंग ऑल दिस पैरानॉर्मल स्टफ. लाइक कूडोस टू दीज पीपल. अगर इनके साथ रियल में हुआ है और ये वहाँ पे रह रहे थे, I don't know what they were thinking or what was their situation, why they were continuing to live there, but I would not. Like, I cannot. Alright, so let's see what happened next. I woke up with 103-degree temperature. I told my parents and grandparents about it. My grandma told me that it was she who dressed up like a ghost just to scare me. पहले ही तुम्हारे घर में भूत घूम रहे हैं और तुम्हारी दादी को भी भूत बन के तुम्हें डराने का शौक चढ़ा है. Oh God. So the next incident is a very heavy piece of furniture fell on my leg out of nowhere. The ceiling of the room collapsed behind me once. So yeah, it's pretty much okay to assume that it was trying to kill me. Anyways, we moved to Hyderabad after a year. Thankfully, that thing didn't follow us. Like, you stayed in that house for a year even after so many things were happening to you. Alright, moving on to the next story. So I lost my elder sister in an accident that happened in 2018 and I still cannot believe it. The day we got to know that she's no more, I could not believe it. And she died in another city from our home. So we traveled to that city and after doing the rituals, we came back and I only remember myself crying throughout that process. I had lost so much weight and was crying only. I guess I wanted a last goodbye hug from her which I couldn't get. Little backstory by sister, I think it's my sister. So little backstory. My sister used to always hug me or say bye whenever she went out. On that particular day, I missed her going out and she could not say bye to me. So this was bothering me a lot. And for 3 or 4 days, I don't exactly remember the day, but she came in my dream. In the dream, also, I was crying so much, saying, "Please come back." And she hugged me tightly and called my name and said to me that I have to go, but if you cry like this, I won't come back to meet you ever. Please don't cry. If you don't cry, I'll be happy. And I promised her that I won't cry ever, and she hugged me and went, and I woke up from my dream. Since then, I never cried talking about her to anyone. I miss her so much, and recently, a month back, I was missing her so much. And then she again came into my dream and hugged me and said, "Always be happy, but I have to go and you cannot come with me." And only I see her in my dreams. So, my mom says that she was very attached to me since I was born. Maybe that's why she cares for me now, also. I don't know, but I think it's the incident is in the person's subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind of this person is showing her all these dreams. I think she's a girl. I think she's a girl. So her mind is playing all these tricks with her, और वो ही उसे ये सब सपनों में दिखा रहा है, because obviously she used to hug her in real life and everything. I'm not really sure if this is paranormal. Like, what do you think? Comment down below and let me know कि आपको क्या लगता है, story number 3 real है या फिर ये सिर्फ उसके दिमाग की वजह से हो रहा है. My nanny's house is haunted. Her house is 3 stories and there's a front yard, backyard, a pretty big house. Why is your nanny living there first of all? मतलब ये जो लोग होते हैं ना, जिनको पता होता है कि उनका घर हॉन्टेड है और वो फिर भी वहाँ पे रहते हैं, I need to talk to these people and ask them कि तुम्हारे दिमाग में मतलब क्या क्या क्यों why do you do this? Why? I remember there was a huge havan. We were on the 2nd floor. The Agni kept on distinguishing itself numerous times. Strong winds, furniture started to vibrate, the doors and windows were slamming. The Pandit got so scared that he left the Havan in between and said that the house has spirits and those things are not to be messed with. Wow, great Pandit. Now, here is why I think those spirits are pure demons. My sister and I were in our room, which is also on the 2nd floor. It was evening and we were taking rest. Like, the English is a little weird. So it was evening and we were taking rest after studying all day. I was playing a game on my phone, and after feeling tired, I put the phone down and laid back. It was dark in the room, but the moonlight made it dimly lit. I started tracing the ceiling because of boredom and not being able to fall asleep. As I was doing that, I noticed that one corner was darker than the other corners. I thought it could be because of the light not reaching it or whatever, but that darkness in the corner was moving. I stuck my eyes on it. It started moving from one corner to the another. It was slow, but soon after that, the darkness thingy really started moving really fast, and I was still following it. At one point, it got so fast, I lost focus of it. Next thing I knew, the darkness thingy jumped on me. पहली बात, तुम रात को सो रहे हो, तुम्हें दिख रहा है कि कुछ तुम्हारे घर में मूव हो रहा है और तुम उसको ऐसे ऐसे घूर रहे हो. भाई बाहर निकलो, भागो वहां से. I heard this whoosh and it got past me. I was so freaked out. I let out a loud gasp. When my sister asked what happened, I lied to her saying that it was a mosquito, not to scare her. I just waited for mom to get back after that. Most common sightings of those spirits are mimics. The spirits would call out to me or my sister in the voice of my mom, or I would hear my sister calling my name when she didn't. One of the spirits is definitely a poltergeist. You would hear the furniture being smashed and thrown around in the middle of the night, but once you check, nothing moved. If you were a guest and visiting my nanny's house, you will not get a peaceful sleep. One of these things is meant to happen to you. You will be choked, somebody will sit on your chest, the door of your room will start banging, or your bed will start shaking as if there was an earthquake. After talking to a Babaji, he said that my nanny's house has 4 spirits, all of them are real evil and they have to be sent and locked in the house. Babaji said that they don't have the order to harm anybody yet. God knows how I lived in that house for 10 years. Oh my god. इन्होंने तो हद पार कर दी. तुम्हारा बेड हिल रहा है, तुम्हारे को चोक कर रहा है कोई, तुम्हारे ऊपर वूश करके कूद रहा है और तुम उसी घर में 10 साल तक रहे हो. What is the problem with these people? Why don't these people go away? You guys are real brave hearts, I must say. My mother, sister, and I later moved to our own house. Every time I visited Nani, I prayed harder than I usually do. Now I moved to a different continent with my family. What about the Nani? तुम नानी को वहीं चार भूतों के साथ छोड़ा है? This is very very disturbing and I don't think this is real. मतलब किसी को अगर मेरे को पता हो कि मेरी मम्मी एक haunted house में रह रही है ना, I'm not gonna leave her there. कुछ भी हो जाए, कुछ भी कर ले, मेरी मम्मी कितना भी फोर्स कर ले कि मुझे नहीं जाना यहाँ से, I would take her out and take her to a place safe, and I would definitely not move to another continent with my family, leaving my mother in a haunted house with 4 damned evil spirits. Ugh. No. Okay, next one. I'm extremely sensitive to negative energies. I've had a lot of paranormal experiences in past, but this one haunts me till date. During lockdown, we shifted to a rented accommodation because of the ongoing renovation in our home. I usually sleep alone due to anxiety issues. Even slightest of noises wake me up. So I started hearing heavy footsteps in my living room every night at around 2-3 a.m. Initially, I thought it's my dad who woke up to get water, and it started happening every night. One night I was working, and that's when I decided to check on my dad, and there was legit no one. My mom and dad were sleeping peacefully in their room. Every night I could hear whispers and noises, but my mind wasn't ready to believe it's something paranormal. I decided to let it go, thinking I'm hallucinating due to immense stress. Another night, I clearly saw someone walking around my living room. I had a window in my bedroom for which my living room can be seen. So I started believing that I need therapy because I've had a history of depression and anxiety. Things went out of control when one night I saw someone staring at me from that window. The glass window was closed, but I could clearly see the silhouette of this person. My jaw dropped. That thing kept its hand on the window and kept staring at me until I switched on my lights. I wanted to call my parents but dropped the idea since I thought they wouldn't believe me. Finally, after some days, I decided to tell my mom about my hallucinations and that I needed a psychiatrist, and that's when she revealed that she heard the footsteps too and thought it's me. After we left that house and settled in our own home, everything went back to normal. Till date, I hear noises, see shadows, face incidents which can't be explained by logic or science, but none of them were as bad as this one. भाई आज रात को मैं अपनी मम्मी के साथ सोने वाली हूँ because where I sleep there is a window right in front of my bed, and अब मुझे ये लगने वाला है कि रात में कोई इंसान वहाँ पे ऐसे हाथ रख के मुझे घूरने वाला है. Okay, so moving on to the last story for today. This happened when I was in my 7th grade. We just moved into our new house. I am a single child to my parents. Both my parents work in our own business. As they both work, I have my keys to my home, and it was only me alone for 4 to 5 hours after coming back from school. I had these MasterChef vibes every day after coming from school, so I used to change and then head to the kitchen to make myself some food every day. So now you need to understand the architecture of my house to understand this incident. There was a small window between the hall and the kitchen. There was a TV in the start of the hall and a fridge facing the TV at the end of the hall. Before the window of the kitchen, you can clearly watch the reflection of the fridge on the TV from the kitchen. ठीक है, TV kitchen से TV दिख रहा है और TV में fridge की reflection दिख रही है. Oh, okay. Alright. So the day this happened, there was no power due to rain. There was no signal to the landline also. I didn't mind much and went to the kitchen and started making food. I don't know why I suddenly felt so cold and I watched my TV from the window. Then I saw this reflection on the TV and dropped the spoon on the floor. It was a man that was roaming in front of the fridge and directly looking at my reflection on the TV. It was roaming so fast, I felt so cold watching into its eyes. I was so scared, I didn't know what to do. I couldn't call anyone. I couldn't go into the hall to the main door. Then I saw the reflection heading towards the kitchen very slowly. Then I just opened the balcony door and stood in the rain. I could hear all the cluttering sounds in the kitchen. I just stood in the balcony, drowning in the rain, hoping my parents would come to save me, and closed my eyes. I opened my eyes in my bed with my parents beside me, worried. I asked them what happened, and my mom told me that I was lying in the balcony, drenched, and the whole house was full of dirt. I don't know why. I told my parents whatever I saw, and my parents were worried. They started having pujas in the house, but whenever I was alone in the house, I still felt very cold, even in summer evenings. After that, I felt very sick for 6 months, and my parents decided to sell the house and leave. My health got better within the week after we moved out. I still get dreams of that thing walking to me slowly at times. So I don't know, but like maybe there was some negative energy, because ऐसा मैंने movies में देखा है कि जब भी कुछ negative energy आपके पास आती है, you started feeling chills and you feel very cold. I don't know, like I haven't had any encounters, so I won't really comment कि मैं मानती हूँ या नहीं मानती. But as I already said, अगर आपके साथ कोई भी ऐसा encounter हुआ है, comment down below and let me know कि कुछ ऐसा है या आप इसमें मानते हो या नहीं. You can also connect with me on my Instagram and DM me there sending your stories. अगर आपको comment section में सबके सामने comment नहीं करना, like I would love to read your stories and know more about this. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. और अब मुझे भाग के मम्मी के पास जाना है. As I told you, मैं बहुत डरपोक हूँ, मुझे बस रूम में अकेले नहीं बैठना, एंड रात को भी मुझे लगता है मम्मी पापा के साथ सोना पड़ेगा. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you did, do not forget to subscribe to my channel and also give this video a thumbs up. I will see you in my next video. Till then, take care. Bye.